Um, I'm very excited because I've been trying to get this game together for feels like a month and a half now, and we finally got it going. Minus some minor difficulties, but we're getting there. As you can see, I have two spots down the bottom that do not have cameras. One of our players is not, for some reason, it's gone radio silent on us, but we'll we'll trudge on. And another does not have a camera right
I'm
now.
sorry.
It is quite all right. I should have grayed out Steezy's photo to make me yeah, he's the one that's not here, but too late. For those who don't know, I am O'Day. I run Caution Nerds. This is my shit. There's not much more to say about me other than I'm the quote-unquote not-so-humble DM. I'm going to do these quick character intros or player intros so we can get everyone up to speed on who's playing who, and then I'm going to hop the fuck in. I'm going to start with my one returning player, Dave. Please tell us who you are and who you're playing as this wonderful, wonderful day.
How you doing, everybody? Dave. Today I'll be playing let me double check, a human, because as Ryan said, getting this campaign going has been a long time coming. But today I'll be playing a human monk named Ramos Divinar. Even though he's only level 1, I'll probably go Way of the Drunken Master later. He's a bit of an old guy in this particular campaign. He's 55 years old. I think everybody else is pretty young. Anyway, never played Curse of Strahd before. I'm looking forward to it. Let's go.
All right. I'm going to jump over to the other person that has a camera just to make this a little bit easier. I already know you as Epic Legion because I don't know my players' names apparently. How are you doing and who are you playing as this campaign?
So my name is Isaac. I am playing as Jaziel Archeon, a paladin who is going to be going down the Oath of Conquest.
Ooh, sounds fun. That's going to be interesting. Spinning who our next player is, goes by Lil Aku.
Oh, you can just call me Lily.
I see your name on the Zoom tab, but I'm going by what it says, what I have on the stream.
Oh, yeah, Lilaku.
Who are you playing as this wonderful, wonderful campaign?
Oh my god, I did so much research. So for anyone who's watching this, I have not played 5e. I haven't played any tabletop in at least 3 years. So I'm trying to get back into it. And I did so much research for the backstory of my character. She's Baila, and she is a young prodigy wizard who grew up in a library. Yeah.
Grew up in a library. All right, and
Yep.
you said it's a wizard, correct?
Yes. I'm playing an Unearthed Arcana subclass, or
Yeah. I don't remember which one it was off the top of my head.
lore mastery.
Ooh. All right. Well, I know at level 2, I don't think we're going to see too much that comes out of that, but I'm waiting to see what happens with how that works out as you guys level up and make it further into this story of death and destruction and mayhem.
Oh, wait. I just want to ask one question because
Yes.
Dave did mention. Are we starting at level 1 again, or are we
It's
starting?
it's level 2. He just misspoke.
Oh, okay. Okay. Just check.
I haven't looked at my character sheet in a month, so I forgot it was level 2.
All right. So let's dive into this. And the fun part is I get to start with each of your characters one at a time and how you guys end up in Barovia. For those that have never played or know anything about Curse of Strahd, it is I think it's a reimagining of the original Ravenloft adventure back from I think 2nd edition. It takes place in a little pocket dimension called Barovia, and obviously none of our players are from Barovia, so I made a few interesting stories of how they all end up there, and I'm ready for this. So let's jump in.
Ooh.
All right, so what I got first is we begin at a simple workshop on the outskirts of Luskin. The smell of shaved wood permeates the air inside. A few half-finished projects lay across the wood floor, some tables, chairs, bassinet, among some other things. Outside, we see the sun is just beginning to set. You see through the cosmo trees in the background, the sun just getting over that tree line. We hear the rhythmic pattern of axe to wood as an older man chops log for firewood and tinder. Looking up, you can see that it is quickly losing sunlight, and are beginning to say it's time to call it a day. Ramos, this is you.
Yes.
Tell us how do you end your day of work?
Well, most days I'd, well, if I didn't finish a project, I got to put all the tools back. They'll all go back in the exact spots that they were put in.
Mm-hmm.
So during the day, the workshop looks a mess, and then I spend probably the last half hour to an hour putting everything back, so that it's ready the next day.
All right.
I'll probably spend, after I leave the workshop, head back to the house, probably spend the rest of the evening probably reading one of my books under candlelight. Let's see, I have a couple books. Let's boot up the chat. Let's boot up the dice roll. 1d6.
You have quite a few books, don't you?
4. Today I'm reading Abstractions and Absurdisms. It's an existential illumination of the belief that we exist in a purposeless and chaotic multiverse.
That is some deep-ass reading, and it's probably something I would never read in my life, but all right.
It's slow and arduous, and I wouldn't recommend it to anybody.
All right. Well, let's see. Well, I'll say as you're reaching for your books, do you keep all your books on the shelf, or do you have whatever one you plan on reading that day already on a little table next to your chair?
Yeah, I usually keep one or two in the whatever satchel I'm carrying around.
All right.
The rest are on a bookshelf.
All right. So I'll say, whoops, I need to stop messing with that. I'll say as you're getting ready to prepare, relax for the day, get to your reading, maybe pour yourself a glass of something to get your day winding down.
Probably tea.
You actually notice as sitting down in your chair, getting ready to open your book, at the corner of your eye, you see something on your table that wasn't there before.
What's that?
It is a book, but it's one that you don't remember buying ever. Just by glancing at it, it's just a tattered brown leather-bound book, and emblazoned a bright, or at one point probably bright, it's probably dulled out now, symbol of what looks to be a griffin or some sort of flying creature, just flying in front of a taller castle. I'm going to see if I can show it. It's going to pop up in your journal of what it looks like.
Got it.
Yep. Players, you'll be able to, viewers, you'll be able to see it as well. But it's emblazoned with that.
Well, that looks ominous. I'd probably check, depending on how big my house is, I'd probably see, well, it's probably small, actually, just a couple rooms. I'd look around, see if there's any open doors or windows. I'm thinking someone came in and planted this.
So go ahead, make I think by a perception should be good enough for that. Investigation, if that's higher, if you want to use that.
It's lower, but I'll use it.
Alright. 6. No, nothing really seems out of place. The only door that would be even slightly ajar is the one that you came in through. If you left it ajar for any reason. All the windows are closed. You don't see any signs of someone breaking in.
All right, if no one's in the house, I'll crack open the book, see what's going on.
All right. You rummage through it. Not rummage. I guess skim through it. This book looks more like a journal the way it's written. It's got a few like entries here and there. Like maybe one page has like just a couple sentences on it. The next page might have a full paragraph or two. But it's all looks like it's talking about just a group of travelers and like their time on the road. A few of the excerpts do stick out at you, or stick out a little bit more. Because whereas most of them are just mundane, like, hey, we crossed this such and such river today. We were able to gather such and such supplies for the next leg of our journey. Or like maybe you might get like a piece here or two about some of the people arguing with each other, just normal like family squabble type sounding. You see one that starts it off saying like, we have spent another week off the main roads. The wars waged by these nobles show no regard to the common man. Traveling has become dangerous. Whichever army finds us first will most likely try to conscript us. This invader from the southern lands has been tearing across our countryside. I suspect he will soon make his way to the castle. I'm going to copy all of like the excerpts I'm going to read out to you and send them to you so you have it.
Perfect.
Skimming through maybe like 5 or 6 pages more, you see one that says, we found a nobleman alive among the corpses of a battlefield yesterday. A stab wound through the abdomen. Luvish wanted to kill the man, put him out of his misery. But Eva thought it would be wise to heal him back to health. And Eva always has the final say. And scrolling through some more, find the next one that talks about, like, I guess this nobleman. It says, turns out this nobleman we found is the invader we've heard so much about. He has promised us his never-ending friendship and a place among his people when the fighting is done. Empty promises from another would-be lord. But a few of our group are already drawn in by his silver tongue and quick wit. And the next couple pages look actually kind of ineligible. Illegible. Ugh, that word. I need you to make. I don't know which one I would have you roll to make sure you can actually try to like make it through the scribblings. I wanted to say perception at first, but I don't think that would be right. Okay, yeah, just you can do just do an intelligence check. How about that? Since you're trying to like read through something. 3. Oof. So a lot of the words that are like I said, are starting to become ineligible and actually look like they've been written. It looks like they've been written over each other a few times, so you can't actually make out what some of these last like pages are actually saying. You can make out a few words here and there that aren't as jumbled up. Like you get the word, you can hear the words, or read the words, dark into this land, wedding day, deep fog, and leaving. So you can make out like those words. And I'll have to like separate those ones that I wrote so we have that like different from what you could read. So I'm going to delete certain words and that's all you can read. Bam.
This is more interesting than my other book.
It is. It is indeed. There's a few other excerpts that I have written out that I'll copy and give to you that are legible, but they're not as important to the narrative just yet, I guess.
Yep.
But that's like that. Those like the last few pages are like that sporadic writing, illegible text, words written over words. But as you finish like reading like that, like trying to make any common sense or any sense at all out of like those last pages, the words start to disappear. Like actually like disappear into the ink as if it was like Tom Riddle's fucking diary. And are replaced with new words that are like written in like a crimson red. These ones are easily legible, written in common, etc. And it says, "I've worked with enchanters to get this book out of here. I pray that whoever finds this is of capable hands. For upon reading this, you will sadly be doomed to arrive in Barovia itself. This fog must be lifted, this demon destroyed. I am truly sorry, reader, but you may be our only salvation, and I pray that you do not fall into the despair we have." Like as soon as you no sooner that you finish reading that, those words disappear again and go back to that illegible text.
At the point of you will be transported to Barovia,
Doomed
I'd
to arrive
probably
in Barovia.
close the book suddenly.
All right, you can certainly do that. So yeah, so you'd be as soon as you get to it, you sadly be doomed to arrive in Barovia, and then just close the book. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. I need you. You can do that, no problem. What do you do after you, I guess, finish closing the book? Like, nah, fuck this.
Put it back on the on the table, just kind of real quick. Just...
Nothing.
Yeah. Just put it down.
All right. So, question about your workshop. Obviously, I said like all the windows are closed. Do you have like, are they just like glass windows, panes that are closed? Do you have like shutters that are, like how is your house set up?
The house would have a couple windows. Probably most of the shutters will be closed. Workshop separate. Probably just it's just like a converted barn mostly.
That's kind of what I figured it like had in my mind, like with your workshop side.
Yeah, it's very open. Just stuff around the sides.
Cool. Need you to make me a perception check, please. I also apologize if this feels railroady at all, but it's slightly is, to be honest.
Session 1's supposed to be railroady.
Yeah. With a 9, I would say you probably just start to notice. You like glancing out the windows, you see the sky's gotten a little bit darker, or darker quicker than it should have gotten. Whereas like maybe like a half hour ago, you were like the sun was just starting to set and you were putting your tools away.
Mm-hmm.
Now it feels as though like looking outside, you could swear it's like midnight. It's like pitch black, and it's like sudden, like within like the last like minute or two, it went light to dark.
Guess I read more of that book than I thought.
Cool. So, I guess are you going to go to any of your other books? Like, what do you?
I'll probably go back to reading the one I was originally
going to read. All right. So as you're reading that book, figuring out some more extras. I'm not even going to try to get the words I want out. You're just going through like some crisis as you're reading, I guess. I don't know, reading about crises and everything. You notice more ominous things start to happen. Even though like windows and doors are closed, you just, I guess you get lost in your book, and when you finally glance up, you see that there's maybe like a good like 2 or 3 inches of like fog like on the floor, like inside your house, like, and it looks like it's been seeping in through like the cracks of the doors and the windows.
Yeah, I'll go open front door, see what's up.
All right. So if you open the door, you see that fog is outside, just rolling in with like a heavy heaviness. Really, it's just a super thick fog that even like once you first open it, like someone like blows like instantly like into your face, and it's like almost instantly harder to breathe. Like it's as if this was fire smoke, but isn't. It you can clearly tell it's fog. It's just a dense, deep fog.
Yeah. What's the visibility like out the door?
You can probably see if you extend your hands, you can just barely see the edges of your fingertips. And now that you've opened the door, it is starting to like push its way into the household itself.
Yeah, I'll head back inside. Let's try to seal some stuff up.
All right. Um, I'll say you can try to think. I would want you to roll to see how well you do with that. Make that. I guess make that really, I guess, a dexterity because it's how well you can get everything covered up correctly.
Yeah, like if there's cracks in the windowsill, I'm rolling up, towels or old blankets and
Man,
putting them in there.
You're just rolling horribly today already. Like
My goal is never above 10 this whole campaign.
you're making it so far, man. Now you start to like cover up the
Oh, this sucks.
cover up like some of the window cracks, but like this fog still keeps like seeping in. It is slowed down slightly, but I say by the time you're done like rolling up and covering all the cracks that you know of, it's already like the fog in your house after having the open door and just the time to seep in. It's probably almost like waist high to you, and it's like slowly.
Oh, what just happened?
Some shit fell from my cupboard above me.
I was wondering.
Oh.
Oh, are you okay?
Yeah, I got sprayed with some juices. I hate to do this, but I will be back in a few. We might have to put this on pause for a couple minutes. I am sorry. That splattered all over the computer too.
Oh, hey, I also was gonna point out, you can actually turn auto advantage off in roll 20.
Auto, what is this?
Auto advantage. So pop out your character sheet.
Yeah.
And go to the little gear icon on the far right.
On the far right. Okay.
Then on roll queries, it's the very first option on the top right. Click advantage toggle. That way it doesn't automatically always roll advantage. You can literally choose advantage, normal, disadvantage.
Oh, I'm glad that would have sucked. That's glass.
I've never used Roll20 before, so I'm like.
So you click the gear.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, very top right. Directly underneath the gear. It says always roll advantage next to roll queries. Click that.
I don't think I'm clicking the right gear because I don't see that under the gear.
It's next
No,
to.
no. It's on your character sheet, not in the actual roll 20.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. Gear. Okay. Okay. Always. Which one should
Switch that to advantage toggle.
What does that mean?
That means you can switch it from advantage, normal, disadvantage.
Oh, okay.
So like you can literally do a straight roll.
Okay.
Or, you can, switch it to advantage and it'll do 2 rolls and, we'll pick the highest one for you.
Okay.
Or then disadvantage. I don't know why I have animated dice on, so.
I actually like the animated dice.
I do too. I usually have it on. I just forgot to turn it off for this. Probably should have asked in advance. That was an absurdly good roll with disadvantage, by the way.
These 2 or 3, 2 are cracked as well, so they're gonna go soon.
I wonder what happened? Like, is it a cupboard above his desk? Fell?
I think it broke. For a second, I thought someone just walked in through the room and threw spaghetti at him.
Yeah.
Just kicked in the door and was just like, spaghetti time.
It was a loud. It was like a loud crash too.
But yeah, no, it makes it easier for if you have the toggle on, so like you don't have to try to like pay attention to both roles. Oh, and fun fact for the day with D&D, when you level up your constitution later on, like say in like level 7 or something, and it gives you a +1 to your constitution, you can backtrack and add HP to your previous levels as well with that +1.
Huh.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know that.
Yeah, it's just like, that's one of the standard rules. It's just like, you can completely backtrack for that.
It reminds me of
So do you just recalculate your health?
Yeah.
HP?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
I'm going to make it brighter in here. This is annoying me.
yeah, the sun coming through the window is messing with it. Like the room I'm in is actually quite dark, but I have a lamp behind the webcam. But the being able to level up, or to the fact that leveling up or increasing constitution works retroactively, and the fact that so many people don't realize that reminds me of the
Holy
trick in one of the old Pokemon games where you could
It's
use
like all
cut
the
to
way
get
to
rid of the
the back wall.
grass. And like so many people didn't know you could do that either.
Wait, don't you need?
my
Doesn't
God.
the game kind of basically walk you
Books.
through that though? Because don't you?
Yeah,
No. It shows you how to
it-
get rid of trees.
Can you get me another?
Oh.
I think in the really old Pokemon, you could also use Headbutt on trees.
Okay.
I don't know.
And it could knock Pokemon out or like different things like that.
Toss. Unless you
This
want
is
to
going to be an interesting bout I'm going to play.
God, no. My foot!
What?
I'm stepping in juice.
Who needs a
At
shield?
least I have the mic muted.
I was about to say, please stop being muted.
Oh, my D&D books too. I'll clean the books
Attention,
down here in
you
a bit.
cannot launch the character Mancer level up until you have a class level. In HP select for level 1. Please run character Mancer creator first. What? Why is it giving me this?
He's alive.
I don't believe it. That's a zombie.
Oh, that was something.
Welcome
Sorry
back.
about that.
Yeah, we thought like someone entered the room and threw something at you.
I thought it was spaghetti. Was solidly putting my bets on it.
No, what had happened was one of the basement. I'm in the basement. Our stairs are literally right next to me. At the top of the stairs is our pantry. The top shelf with all of our daughter's V8 fusion juices decided to collapse upon itself, and all that was the crashing you heard of everything falling off that top shelf. Surprisingly and thankfully, because it was glass and it would have sucked, my handle of Captain Morgan did not fall. Because that would have sucked.
Well, on the bright side, while you were gone, I showed everyone how to put on toggle advantage.
I mean, I keep advantage on all the time anyway, personally. But yeah, no, I got splattered with I want to say it's pineapple mango.
Delicious.
That's yeah. When you saw me like get hit with something, that's what that was.
So a byproduct of your own house getting transported to Barovia.
Right, and but the weird thing is though, it splattered down the steps, and the bottle ended up at the bottom of the steps. But because of the way it splattered, it hit everything to the right of me, including my back fucking wall, which is about, I want to say this room is about 12, 13 feet. Hit all the way down there, my computer, my D&D books, everything.
Someone's got to clip it and add it to a Twitch fails compilation.
I mean, I'm okay with that.
Oh, that's a random question I forgot to ask. What attribute would you consider a dice set?
If that's usually dexterity, I think.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. All right. So,
Yeah, it depends on how you use it.
Yeah. So, are you using it to try to swindle people out of money, or?
I don't know. Just like it requested me to put in an attribute for my dice set that I'm proficient with.
Yeah, I'm going to say dex, because that would be the most used one.
Like I have playing cards, but Ramos is an honest character, so wisdom would be his.
My guy's honest.
Attribute.
I'm not trying to swindle people with my dice.
But since it's dice that you're shaking and rolling it, that's why I would say more
Touche.
like dexterity.
Okay.
All right. So where were we? Oh, the fog rolling in.
Yeah, I was trying to prevent the fog from.
The
getting
orange
in
fog
us.
rolling.
Yeah. Well, the 7 you
Tastes
were.
like peach mango.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With that 7, you weren't doing too well. It is starting to fill up your house, no matter how hard you try. And when it was like in your face, how it got really hard to breathe, like walking through it, how it says like up to like maybe thigh height, it feels like it's actually like as if you're like trying to walk through like or like wade through water. It's like a thick. It's harder to walk through it now.
It's weird.
Yeah. Welcome to Crazy Town. Population U.
Yeah.
For the sake of some brevity, the fog will eventually make its way through the whole house.
Wonderful.
The rolling higher would have just foregone it longer. I would say you probably have about like 15 minutes before it fills up your house completely. Is there anything you're going to try to do?
Like it's basically filled up the entire house.
Yeah, say you have about 15 minutes like in game before it does. It's harder to walk through and it's hard to breathe through it.
I guess I'll go back outside and see if I can get a better vantage point from the top of the house. Because if I can't see even in front of my face, then I'll probably stick close to the wall.
Right. I mean, like I said, you can see like if your fingers are hands outstretched, you can probably see like just the edges of your fingertips. So you have like what is that, like a foot and a half, 2 feet of sight. But as you said, so you're trying to get like outside.
Yeah, I'm gonna climb up on the roof, see what's.
So
Take a look out.
the fog outside, I'll say, is probably about like 7 or 8 feet high, from or as you climb up to the top of the roof. So you can see like you crest over the edge of it, and you see that like the fog just stretches out as far as you can see. And what makes it even weirder is, or more weird, I say as far as you can see, but while the fog at like around your house comes up to like I said about the let's say like 7, 8 feet, 10 feet, what did I say? Whatever it is that you're crest over it. Maybe 100 feet out, it looks just a wall of fog, stretching as tall as you can see as well, as in all directions, as if your house is just encircled in this fog.
My workshop is pretty close to the houses, and there's a couple other things, maybe a tree here and there. Is the landscape still the same?
landscape is still the same. Whatever would be within like that 100 feet of your visibility, is all still there the way it should be. It's just covered in this dense hatred.
I'm gonna go back and pick up that cursed book.
All right. I'll say
It says.
it takes you a little while to try to find it through the fog, just because I mean you know where it is, but just like I wouldn't say stumbling through, but like feeling your way to slowly get to it.
Mhm.
It just takes you a little while, and as you're getting there, it's when you finally get to the book, like you find yourself like coughing and choking on like on the fog essentially, like it like begins like to burn as if you're like breathing in heat or fire. But you do make it to the book. You'll probably have to climb back out onto the roof to be able to read it, or like put it like right up to your face.
Yeah, I'll just real close. Right.
And it shows like what it said before, how like, as you were closing it, saying like, you said doomed to arrive in Barovia, so you would finish like the rest of it says this fog must be listed, the demon destroyed. I am truly sorry, reader, but you may be our only salvation, and I pray you do not fall into the despair we have.
Yeah, I'm just like I just want to get rid of this so I can go to bed.
I mean, you finish reading it, and like I said, those words like disappear, and are replaced with those illegible text from like the last couple pages that you couldn't read before.
Yeah, any hints? Anything to get rid of this? I gotta defeat some demon. That's
fucking demons.
I just want to go to bed.
Well, I don't think that is in your future, good sir. The fog actually. Just to get through this, the fog's that burning feeling that you're getting in your throat starts to become a little bit more intense. Your hands, like if you stretched out your hands, you could see to your fingertips. Now you can maybe see like your elbow. Like it's getting like thicker and harder to do anything. I'll say, I assume you're not just standing there, just being like, "Take me, fog."
No, I just think looks like I'm sleeping on the roof. I'll grab some stuff and.
Right. So as you start pushing, like you're like making your way through the house, pushing through, you look down for a second and trying to grab something. You find it almost impossible to find anything. I guess it's just by muscle memory that you know where certain things are.
Yeah.
And you can like just kind of like fumble through, but you can't like at this point if you look down, you can't even see like their chest or anything.
Yeah, I'm working on getting out of there.
As you like start to get out of the house, like it itself, you find that it's at this point you're starting to go a little hazy. It's as if it was like from smoke inhalation. You start like trying to push your way through, like getting to where you know where you can get a good foothold of the to start climbing up. But when you like reach for like the footholds that you would like normally, or like the edges of the house where you would try to climb up normally, you reach out and there's nothing there. So like, you keep walking forward, keep trying to like reach for it, and I would say you don't realize how much time has passed because you're more focused on trying to get out of this fog to be able to like breathe again.
Yeah.
And you start to see like what looks to be like to like the sides and in front of you like vague images of as if you were in a city. Like you see like a few like very faint images of like a tall building, maybe like a street light that or lantern that you can tell there's definitely light coming from it, but it's so faint you can't really. There's not giving off the light. You keep like trying to push through, and eventually like the fog just gives way, and you look around. You find that you are nowhere near where you started. Like you are not in Kansas anymore. You're standing. You look around. You see you're standing yourself in like a four-way intersection of like a derelict city block. Like if you like you're standing like as if you were at the stop sign in the middle of the road. Like you can see all three the three other intersections of the road. The fog, however, is still like directly behind you, like as if it was like just a wall of fog. And it's same with on the other all around the intersections, as if this intersection is the only thing that's not in the fog right now. And you see at each of the intersections another figure, like at each intersection, just looking as bewildered or as confused as you are, maybe coughing up some. Like I said, the fog just as dense as it is behind them as it is behind you.
Yeah, this is the only clear spot.
This is the only clear spot. You're clearly like somewhere like derelict city block, four-way intersection. You can see like there's like part of a building to the side that you can see like the front wall of it, no problem. But that is where the camera like fades out, essentially. Okay. And yeah, of you just looking bewildered of where the fuck am I?
Yeah, stand in the middle of a street corner with a blanket and a pillow. Great.
And we fade back in on what looks to be like a lonely mountain range, somewhere northwest of Mirabar. For people that know the Faerun, that is right along the mountain range of the spine of the world, northwest side of Faerun. It is like just past mid-afternoon, as a few like storm clouds begin to make their way into the region. Weather this season is volatile, like storms coming and going without warning. The past few days have been just heavy rain with like few breaks of, hey, it's nice enough to wander around. But one thing does stay constant, and it is the cold. This far up north in Faerun, it's as if you're in like northern Canada. It's always going to be cold to some extent. And I messed up my camera. But in this season, it's always even colder because it's probably like the winter season. Camera, stay still. Stop doing this to me. No. There's like technical difficulties galore today. There we go. That works. So the days are like tolerable, but the nights or the biting cold has been known to like kill anyone that's just not prepared. Most in Mirabar contribute to this not only because of how north you are, but because frost giants are known to live in these mountains. And they simple folk just assume frost giant means they make it cold. But as the giants, as a whole, leave the people of the settlements at the base of the mountains alone, no like real thought is given to it. You do see like a few like scant trees like dotting the mountainside, and like an occasional wild animal like seen feeding like on the local flora or fauna. And in the cliffside of one of these mountains, we see a soul cavern entrance. Inside is a human clad in armor sitting by a fire that is on the verge of going out. Jazeel, describe to us what you look like and what you're doing by this fire.
All right. Let's see here. I'm gonna say Jazeel is he's a bit taller for a human. He want to say 6'3" 6'2". He's a bit more on like the bulkier buff side, as like you could tell from like he has like scars and scratches on like his arms. You could see from I want to say a decent amount of fights and battles. His armor definitely looks like it's been through the ringer.
All right.
It's well worn, you could say. It's let's say I want to say like a bit on like the darker side for like the coloring of it. Mm-hmm. It's the one I want to say like a blackish purple probably mixture.
All right.
And then on the, I want to say the front of the armor, you could see just a pitch black circle with like a purple ring around it.
The purple ring? Ooh.
Yeah. Standing for things. Anyways, and he himself doesn't even know why he's in this forest. He woke up, and the first thing he decided to do was reach shelter.
That's fair. Um, Dave, I put those journal excerpts into your journal, or so you should have it under. It just says mysterious note, but
Thank you, sir.
you should have that.
But yeah, the last thing he remembers was he was in like a muddy swamp area, and then he woke up here.
Yeah, cool. So, I'll say. Whoops, I might want to scroll that down to what I have for your character. All right, so to give you like an idea of where like everything you are, like, you're in this like little small cave. It's probably about like 40 by 40 feet once you're like in the actual like cavern itself. It does like narrow down into like just a small entrance that's probably like just big enough for a medium-sized creature like yourself to get through without crawling. You've been here actually for just a few days, in and out of like fever dreams essentially. One of the last things, like I'm going off of what you gave me, I say that you do remember is the attack that happened just a few days prior, and witnessing your friends and comrades being slaughtered by a ginormous creature who I will not name what it is just yet. It's you haven't even hunkered down just because because of the storms. It's made travel a little harder to do. If you were to get lucky and were able to make a break in through the storms, it's probably about like 3 days travel southeast to Mirabar, which is I can't say a major city, but it's like the middle ground of city and just town.
I was about to say he'd probably be making his way there during the day and then finding shelter at night.
And I would assume that he would be too if it wasn't for like just massive storms the last few days that have kind of prevented that. Today is like one of the first few days where it's like it's opened up enough where you can actually travel without going through thunderstorms throughout your entire sort of daylight that you have. So yeah, I would say that it's like I said, probably about mid-afternoon. Your fire is starting to go out. I'd say you probably have the remains of probably like a squirrel or something that you were able to find and eat and cook. Not in that order. Cook, then eat. So what do you want to do?
I was about to say, see, so the storm went ahead and broke.
Yeah, it's for now. You can still see the storm clouds in the distance, where it will most likely come back within the next, I say, 12 to 14 hours. But you do have a break.
I was about to say, I think he would realize the situation he's in. He cannot sit in this cave because it is just a death trap eventually waiting to happen. Mm-hmm. He'd probably take out one of the pieces of wood from his remaining fire, one of the brighter burning ones, and then just start trudging his way down the mountain.
All right, make me a survival check to see how well you do traveling these roads.
Oh joy.
Or
I'm great at those.
Lack of roads.
No!
Man, no one ain't nobody rolling higher than a 10 today this campaign.
I mean, he's from the south. He's not used to cold.
I mean, it happens. So you head in the direction that you think is the correct direction. I'm going to roll to see if that's actually the direction you end up in. How I want to do this. Let's do a D8. Okay. All right. Surprisingly enough, you end up going in the relatively direction you need to go in.
Yay!
You end up going southeast and not just straight southeast. So you're close. Yeah. The day is hard traveled. I should have said it before. Did I? Yeah, I did write it down. I just didn't say it out loud. You technically are suffering from 1 point of exhaustion right now.
Okay.
Just because you have been like hunkered down in a fucking cave for a couple days, just weathering out a storm. I'm not going to make you re-roll that 3 because I don't think you're going to get any lower than that.
Oh man, you clearly don't believe.
I mean, I have faith in the RNG gods sometimes. But now you slowly make your way downtown. I would say you probably have. I know what your character sheet probably. I don't know if you actually wrote down all the items in your character sheet.
I did.
Cool. I don't know how many rations it says you have, but I'm going to say you don't have that many left.
I had 10 originally.
I will say you have 2 left.
Gotcha.
For now. We will be able to restock those at a later time, but for the sake of the narrative, right now you have 2.
Gotcha.
So you do make your way through the and what you find assume is the right direction. I do need what? Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. That reminded me. Actually, sorry. That symbol's not on his chest. It's a necklace he's wearing. I want to say.
Ah.
Yeah. That's the holy symbol.
Cool. All right. I do need 1, possibly 2 more survival checks from you.
All right. Disadvantage, right?
Technically, yes, but here's what they're for, and I'll let you tell me if you're actually going to use them for this. One is if you want to try to hunt for food instead of using your ration. And the other one, that one's kind of the optional one. The one that I do need is for you to find a safe place to hunker down and try to sleep tonight.
I'm going to use the ration because I want to make as much time as I can.
All right, that's fine. And I'm surprisingly enough keeping track of how far you are traveling.
All right, so survival, you said?
Survival. See if you can find a nice place to sleep. Ooh, Jesus! This campaign is the curse of holy shit.
A 4 and a 5.
Maybe when we get the Phelan's story, maybe she'll be able to roll better.
Can I get like an athletics for like see how far I ran?
Yeah, this is so you struggle that evening to try to find a place to sleep. You will be pelted with a lot of rain when it comes in mid-eveningness. But you're managed to find at least something that you can essentially you can dig out. You find you're under what you assume is a big enough tree to shelter you some. You're able to I'm using what we did in the military, just dig out essentially a spot to sleep in the dirt. Covered up, and you think you camouflage it well enough that predators are not going to attack you. But let's be honest, it looks a little ramshambly. It is not the greatest.
Can I just check my surroundings, I guess, to make sure I'm safe?
Do a perception check, good sir. Good sure.
Firmly believe I'm safe.
Holy shit! Yeah, you are. You know what? You look around. Everything looks as well as it should. You see the storm clouds slowly coming in. You don't see any wildlife running around. You haven't seen any sort of tracks or creatures that might make you think otherwise. To you, it seems like a best spot you're gonna find anywhere around here in this.
Looks solid to me. Ooh, is that a bird? Squirrel!
I know the nat ones usually mean something bad, but I wouldn't say it's that bad that you're getting distracted. It's just it's what you assume you're good to go.
Oh, dear Lord.
So the first night, you toss and turn trying to get comfortable in this crappy little spot you dug out, and get a few precious hours of the rest you need.
Oh, I was about to say,
Yes.
Let's see.
Do you do anything at night? Do you have any evening rituals that you do with your paladin this?
No, that's not it. I was trying to see if there's any thing I could technically do, and I don't think so, no.
I mean, tell me and I'll let you know.
Oh no, I was just seeing if I had any spells on me that would actually help.
Oh. I mean, you can always prepare a spell for tomorrow. So yeah, this first night you're trying to get like I said, those few precious hours of sleep, and when you finally are able to fall asleep, you begin to dream a very vivid dream, and it's the same dream you've had for the past few nights. It goes back to when probably about almost a 10-day ago, I'll say. And you and your fellow soldiers were ambushed in what you thought was just like a goblin cave, full of riches that should not have been there for just some goblins. You remember like vivid detail, like your comrades being burnt alive, like the skin melted off their bones, trying to get to safety just to be only to be cut down. You hear like the bone-chilling cries as this monstrosity just turns your friends into ash. But through all the chaos, like, and while this is like say like fifth or sixth night you've had this same dream, something about this dream tonight just seems a little off. Like, yes, you're still going through these memories of everything that happened. Maybe you're just remembering things differently this time. You just can't remember exactly what it is, or I can't put your finger on it. But something like seems off, out of place. But as you're about to like focus in on maybe what that is, like one of your friends screams of terror and like death knells like jolts you out of your sleep, and it is the following morning. You were soaked, you were drenched. Make me a Constitution saving throw to see if we can get rid of that point of exhaustion.
Yay! I got this.
This is another nat one, I swear to God.
No, it's a 19.
Okay, yeah. We'll say you're able to shake off that point of exhaustion.
Yay!
Yay, indeed. But yeah, it is now day 2 of your, as long as you don't get lost, journey,
Right.
3-day journey to Mirabar. I do need another survival check to see if you can make sure you're still going the correct direction. Yeah, I'm going to do this every day to you until we shoehorn you into Barovia.
Oh, awesome. Got this. No problem.
With that plus,
I'm great at survival.
I mean, if the gods will it, whew. Let's roll that d8. Needed a 10 or higher. That's it, and somehow still going in relatively the same direction.
I'm great with directions.
So kind of like the same principle as the day before. You have one ration left, and including today, you have at least 2 days worth of travel before you get to town. Do you want to try to hunt for food, or do you just want to keep making your journey?
I think I'm going to have to hunt today.
All right. That is another survival. Thankfully, not at disadvantage because, you got rid of that exhaustion.
Yeah. Let's see here.
It's a 10 or higher, and you can find something.
All right. Where are you at? Survival, you said again?
Yep. That's what you used to hunt. Hey, just enough. Just enough.
Yay!
Another squirrel.
Yeah,
Another squirrel.
Yeah, you find another squirrel. Thankfully, squirrels are not that bad. Not that bad. So yeah, you don't have to use a ration to eat tonight, but I do need your survival check to see how well you sleep, or not sleep.
Hey.
How if you find a place to sleep.
Yeah.
There you go. This time I'll say you find like a copse of trees that the branches are actually like wide enough that if you like tie yourself off to it, you can just sleep up in the trees away from any and all predators that may or may not attack you. And it is comfortable enough that you can sleep up there. You're able to find it. However,
All right then.
However, this is where we get to shoehorn you some. Second night of your dreams. It is just as unrestful, I guess. You get just enough sleep to count as your long rest, but the same dream as the night before, and the night before that, and so forth, takes hold of you. The cries of your friends, smell of burning flesh, the demon that did this, and all of its fiery might. I need you to roll me a perception check. Because as before, just as the night before, something just doesn't seems off, and it's a little
Okay, I can see now.
It's a little bit more clear this night. There's a figure standing, like in the side of the cave that you were ambushed in, that was not there when you were, when it actually happened. It's just this almost regal looking figure. Heavy suit of armor, like let's say like a brown purple type like cloak hanging off of his shoulders. And he's just standing there like arms crossed, just watching everything unfold. And then as soon as like you notice that he's there, he just looks straight at you and just smirks.
I think my character is he's gonna get like aggravated at this and kind of just shout at the man, just like, "Who are you?"
He just kind of just looks back to you and goes, and just you barely hear it. I'll say because you're 22, you do. He like a short chuckle under his breath as the chaos and mayhem is happening all around you and him, and it's like one of your friends run by him like in flame, and he just pays no mind to it, and he goes, "Oh, no, please. There's time enough for that later. You have dreams that must be had. This is far more important than who I may be." And he disappears. Like, just as he finishes saying that, like he flips his cloak around and just vanishes from sight.
I think my character will just like start shouting like, "I will not be a pawn in your games," and then just like runs to where like he last saw him,
and as
like sword as the ready.
I love this because it's all happening in a dream. As you run up to where he was, like a proof of like, kind of for I guess the viewers would be similar to the fog that Ramus was just through. Like it like envelops you for a split second, and you wake up like in a cold sweat. And in your tree, it's probably like the dawn is just barely starting to break, and you can see below you, like maybe about like 3-4 feet up, coming off the ground, the fog. Obviously, you as a character have no idea what the fuck is going on. Obviously, player, you saw otherwise. But yeah, you just see fog enveloped all around the tree. Or the trees.
How far? Like, how far out?
Well, since like you're in like a wooded area, your visibility isn't the highest as it already, especially with the storms. I'd say, honestly, as far as you can see, there's just a low-hanging fog. You don't see a giant wall of fog, but you do see just the like a deep, dense fog. Like, or it's like normally if you see fog, it's like, oh, it's taken up everywhere, but it's just there. This you look down, it looks as if it from where you are in the tree, like looking down, it looks as if someone just has like I guess put a literal wall on the ground, and it's just made out of fog. If that makes sense. Like, do you make sense to you? Like, it just yeah. Almost as if it was like looking like if I jumped on this, maybe it'll be a pillow and I'll just bounce off of it. Like that's what it looks like.
I think my character will go ahead and just like try to climb the tree go up.
Oh, go up even higher. I mean, you're already about this tree is probably about like, let's say about like 20 feet tall, and you're probably about, I think you're probably about like 12 feet up it right now. So if you
Yeah, he's still gonna go up just to see
roll
like
me
what's going
a
on.
or athletics or acrobatics, your choice, to see how well you climb up it. I'll say this is where I was hoping you would roll low because it would have been hilarious. No, you
+5. I still got 11.
Jesus, you guys are rolling low. I'll say you do make it up the tree. You like are slowly able to poke your head over the tree line so that you could see further out and away from this blanket of fog. And that's where, when you get to the top of it, is where you see the wall of fog, like probably about, like I said, probably same as before with the last character, maybe about 100, 200 feet out. You just see just a wall of fog in all directions, and it looks as though someone just like built a wall around you, and it's just made out of a fog. And it's weird. It's like more like how I said it's just kind of like a blanket or wall. It's like clear skies that say that knowing there's storm clouds around. Like empty, 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 empty wall. Like that's how like dense and deep it is, and how like clear cut of a line between the fog and not the fog is. And same with what's on the ground below you.
I guess my character is just gonna kind of like, he's gonna shake his head and just be like, "There's no preventing it, I guess." And he's literally just gonna drop down and just start walking towards it.
Oh, you're gonna drop down. You're not climbing down. Or are you dropping down?
I'll like climb down till a safe distance, then just drop and just like start walking.
I'll say yeah, because otherwise I was about to roll some d6s to see how much fall damage you took.
I'm not a monk.
Now you start walking towards it, and as you like get to like I'll say it's still like about 3 feet off the ground. It's not rising up, like what's on the ground. But as you get like to that edge of that wall, you feel as though you're being watched by something. I'll say glancing around, looking around. Maybe you do a full spin. Who knows? You do a little turn on the
No, he's just dead focused at this point. He just like has his weapon ready in his hand. He's just marching straight towards it.
Darn, you cut it off before I could do the joke of you do a little turn on the catwalk. Congratulations. But no, I guess yeah, weapons drawn. Then you walking towards the fog, like bring it on, bitch.
Basically,
you see that armored figure from your dreams the night before is standing like right at the edge of like the fog, leaning on it as if he's leaning on an actual wall.
He's like leaning against the wall of fog.
Yeah, as if it's a solid wall.
And he's just sitting there. Okay.
Yeah, he's just standing up, leaning against it, like arms crossed, like you'd expect like someone literally just standing leaning against a wall. He's just standing there, like just watching you, waiting for you to walk up.
I'm gonna just like stop as soon as I see him, and I'm gonna look at him and just be like, "I said I was not going to be a pawn in this game. What do you want?"
Oh well, we're all pawns. It's just who you're a pawn for. Your god, country, yourself, maybe. Everyone has a role to play, and we just happen to find yours. We know about the dragon.
Okay. I think at this point, it's like, and then if you know, then I have a better role to play. And I'm just gonna go ahead and just like take my hand and point at him and cast like command and say kneel.
You're actually gonna make me do this, alright.
Yeah.
Hold on. I gotta pull up the fucking character sheet for this.
Wow.
God damn it, where is it in my list of everythings? And I had to like open up in another window because I don't want people to see what it is yet. There it goes. Let me look at his stuff. You know what? Okay, so you point to him and he yells, and you say kneel, and you see like a slight shimmer of the armor, and he just looks and goes, come now, you kneel, and I need you to make me a DC 17 Wisdom saving throw.
Got this. Damn it.
Yes, you feel yourself inclined to kneel before him, before this man.
Like, my character does this, and like he's hard gritting his teeth.
You say that, but there's more to this that has just happened. Because the effects of what he has done to you, you feel like you kneel down, and then you feel as though this man is, you've known him your entire life, and that he is one of your closest and trusted friends, and that he needs to be protected at all costs because you are under the effects of a charm spell, of a very powerful charm spell. And he like saunters over to you and like just like uses like his like finger to like lift your chin up, and he goes like, there'll be time enough for this later, but for now I need you to go through that. You'll find that.
Wait a minute, don't I get an advantage on Charm Person if we're in combat? I just realized.
I mean, this is more of an effect that he has for anyone within 30 feet of him.
Oh, okay. Never mind then.
Yeah. It's very powerful. It only lasts so long. But anyway, he like lifts you like your head up and like as you stand up, like you don't need to kneel anymore. But he goes like, I know that you was to destroy that creature, and I don't blame you. But I can offer you the means to do so. I know your gods, however petty they might be, may have already offered you something similar, but I speak of material ways. Riches, weapons. I just need you to do something for me. No response? You just stand there waiting for him?
I'm thinking, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go ahead and be like kind of just like stand up and just be like, if it's a means to the end, and just walk, I guess, forward towards the wall.
Cool. As you like go through like you touch the fog, and unlike him who just leaned against it, you just pass right through it. And as like you walk through, he like you hear him like, I don't want to say call out, but like says like just loud enough for you to hear, and goes, You'll know what I wish of you in due time. And if like you look back like right before you enter the fog, and you'd see that he is no longer there.
I'm just gonna like basically mutter to myself as I'm walking forward and be like, there's always a price in the end.
So yeah, you walk through the fog. For you, it is not hard to breathe. It is hard to walk through because you feel like you're walking through water essentially. But you eventually come out the other side, and you yourself find yourself in the four-way intersection with other creatures looking around. Maybe I wouldn't say as confused as you, because you seem a little well postured for what just happened. But they're all it's as if you all like kind of like merged from the fog from your separate directions at the same time.
So like, who's around me?
Well, like they said, well, you walked out through the fog, like at your side of this four-way intersection. Like boom. It's like you're up here. You see like another figure on this side, like just walking out. One on, pretty much each walking, making their way to the intersection, and that's where we fade out on you.
Okay.
Oh yay!
Yay.
Me.
Do you have any idea how much I love doing this one at a time for your introductions? Like, it is so much better to me than the hey, you guys met at a bar.
Yeah.
Sorry if it's a little boring when it's not your turn, but we will.
Oh no, I've been enjoying all of this.
That is good.
Mhm.
All right. We zoom back in, and what looks to be a library. Yay. Where's my...
The Vault of Sages
Yep.
of Silvery Moon.
You
You did
s-
so much research into this.
You see, we see three, young apprentices, I guess, just rummaging through books, like sitting at a table, like reading together. One of them is a tiefling who, when you get a look at her, she's very timid looking. Barely speaks like above like a squeaky whisper, like that type of like person. She's reading a book that's like basics of like conjuration, and like every once in a while she'll like read like like basics, like essentially cantrips, essentially just like basic spells. Like, all right, here's the incantation for this one. Let me try this one, and like something small might happen. Probably not the effect that she was hoping for, but it's more like, oh my god, I'm making progress. One of the other students is kind of the exact opposite. Just even though you guys are in a library and and you're the only three in there right now, you should be kind of respectful of, hey, it's a library, don't make a lot of noise. But this woman is more like rambunctious, little arrogant sounding when she talks. She's like, every time that the tiefling like makes like a small mistake, she's like, "That's not how you do it." I guess picture Hermione before she realized maybe I shouldn't be a dick. But also like you also get like this air of like she's definitely a trust fund kid. One of those type of arrogant people.
Okay.
And then
Like
there,
Mean Girls.
yeah.
Regina.
Yeah, like I guess if you mix Regina George and fucking Hermione,
Okay, yeah.
that's you got. The tiefling's name is Rin, and the human is her name is Michaela, and then there's our last figure. Tell us a little bit about yourself and what you might be doing in this library, studying up on. Miss Fela, that's you.
So Fela actually lives and works at this library.
All right.
But she was just recently like admitted into the ladies' college of Silvery Moon.
And these two were technically your classmates.
Yeah, and this is my off time from work because she does scribe work for the Vault of Sages.
Mm-hmm.
Shut up! Don't call me a nerd. She has to pay off this huge debt. It's part of her backstory.
Yeah.
I don't want to get into that right now.
That's fine.
So she literally like transcribes a lot of these books that they're studying out of, and yeah, she secured herself a little study room in the Vault of Sages for her friends. So I guess volume wouldn't really be an issue in this area of the library.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess she's just studying and she's trying to help out Rin because that's just what Fela does. She just likes to help people and she likes learning.
All right.
I guess. Oh god. I don't know how much I can get like actually into roleplay right now.
It's fine.
But I guess like she had tried to I guess not like really confront Michaela, but try to support Rin.
That's fine.
That's just her. personality.
Not super confrontational.
Yeah.
All right, that's fair. Cool. So I'll say maybe like another 20, 30 minutes of go by of you helping Rin out, kind of ignoring Michaela whenever she's being just a bitch.
Yeah. That's what I do.
But eventually, like as you're helping Rin, you can see like Michaela's getting more and more like, this is boring. Let's do something else, type thing, and she eventually just like goes like, all right, that's enough, and she like reaches into like one of her black backpacks and like, pulls out this thick tome, and you right away, since you work in like the library itself, know that this is a book that just by like the markings on it is something well beyond what you guys are capable of doing or should be allowed to even read. This is, I guess, definitely if there was like a restricted section, this would definitely be it. A book from there, or at least for someone that's been here for years, not in their first year of study.
Would I be able to recognize it, or?
I mean,
Or is it something I've never seen?
I mean, you've never like seen the book, like you've never read the book itself, but it's one of those that you can just tell by like just like the markings on the side,
Yeah.
like this is
This
is some serious shit. And my camera disappeared for a second. What the hell happened to my camera? Oh no, guys, I don't like that. Watch it be because of the fucking
Yay.
the V8 juice from before.
Oh no.
Oh no,
So much technical difficulty.
it killed my camera. Right, my light came back on. There we go. Yeah, there we go. Let's put that back on me. There we go. Cool. No, what was I gonna say? Yeah, it's just like I said, a thick tome that she just kind of slams on the table, like, nah, this is what we're looking at now. This is much more interesting. Do you do anything as she like slams down and goes, this? She literally says, "This looks a lot more fun than whatever it is that you are doing."
I mean, I think Fela would, and I think this is why she hangs out with Michaela, because Fela is like just naturally curious about things, so she would want to look into this too.
All right, you all.
So I perk up a little bit at a sight of like a book I've never really seen before.
All right. You see, like Rin is like tries to mouth like we I don't think we should, but like it's so like mousy quiet. Like you can tell like Michaela easily intimidates her. Whether she does it on purpose or not, that's a little harder to tell. I think it's more just her personality of people that have confidence scare me. But like Michaela,
I'll try to reassure Rin and say it's because like Fela like grew up in this library, so like she's familiar. She works around. She's especially in the past 3 years since the incident in her backstory.
Mm-hmm.
She's been allowed to the restricted section. She studies these tomes and like literally like transcribes them for the vault. So like I guess Fela will reassure Rin and say it'll be fine. I don't know. I don't know what she'll say.
All right. We'll figure stuff out as it goes along. So Michaela starts like rummaging through this book, and it doesn't look like it would be like a normal like spell book. What's obviously not every book in this library is going to be one of those. Some of
it's history.
Yeah, this one, it's written as if it was history, but the story doesn't make like. I say it's written like it's history, but it's also as if it was fiction, like an alternate history essentially. Like you read through you know enough about history to kind of know, hey, these major events happened in our world, but this story like you've never heard this story before, but it's like I said, written as if it was fact in a history book. But it's
Does it say like how long ago?
This is a couple. It doesn't have a date, but based off of like some of like the context clues that you can kind of pick up, you would say it probably happened maybe, almost like 1,200 years ago.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, like old. But it's still like most like the major stories and conflicts that you would hear throughout history. You kind of have like a passing knowledge of it because of spending so much time in the library. But you eventually come across like this one passage that talks about like some unnamed noble. Like it purposely does not mention his name at all. But it says it came from like a far across land, or far away land, who became a conqueror after his father's death of like old age and sickness, and then he founded a beautiful land, and it says like it has like the comma and like a space where it should have like a name for like whatever this land is, but it's like smudged away. But it's found like this beautiful land space, full of riches. And just riches and beauty. Fearing that he would wither away, says the noble like made a deal with a higher power. But I'll say I gotta go through my D&D deities off the top of my head. We'll say it mentions the name of Pelor.
Pelor?
Yes. Okay. It says like Pelor saw like there was just hatred in this young noble's eyes, and it was kind of like, yeah, I'll make a deal with you, but it's not going to be the type of deal you wanted. Whereas the noble was hoping for immortality to be able to, rule over his lands and continue being a conqueror. Since Pelor was the one that took it upon himself to answer the call, he's like, yeah, you get your immortality. However, you are kind of cursed to serve those who call upon you. And that is what got Michaela's attention. She's like, I want to know who this, like, stories of someone that, has to be at my beck and call. Hell yeah. And, like, you go over, like, the next couple pages, and it switches kind of from history book to here's how you summon this fucker.
Oh.
And, like, it's like a dramatic shift in tone, as though like you would never have expected it.
Okay, I guess this is where like Viola starts getting a little bit more concerned.
Mm-hmm. Does she do anything?
I think she's maybe just trying to end the study session here. Cause like she's been in deep shit before from something she's not supposed to like.
This is
true. This is true. So she's not gonna attempt to summon this thing. She's not gonna go along with Michaela. With this.
Well, so you try to like start to be like, hey, maybe we should not do this, and Michaela's like, but I already got all the stuff you need, and she pulls it out of her bag as well. Like you see like a pot that has, like, different herbs in there.
She collected all the components.
She collected all the components. There's even a, like a fist-sized ruby in there.
I mean, of course she would have all of this. She's a rich kid, right?
Yep. There's some like, there's like what looks to be a dragon scale in there, some eyes. There's like,
God.
She's got everything. And she's like, come on, who wouldn't want someone to, do everything
I start
for them?
getting really worried now because I didn't realize she had all of this.
Yes. As I rub my DM hands together, like, yes.
Holy shit. Okay. Oh, fuck. Oh my god, I'm not even sure what to do. I mean, I think I wouldn't want to do this in the vault, in the library. I do not want to get caught doing this. Oh my god, but I'm intrigued now.
Ooh.
Fuck. Okay, so I'm gonna, I guess, suggest to Michaela that we shouldn't do this in the vault, because I don't want to get in trouble.
Well, then she said that. She's like, so where do you expect us to do it then? At least here, we're the only ones in here. We can easily lock the door. Where do you suggest?
Oh. Fuck. Well, I mean, Silver Moon is so huge, and there's so many like trees around. Maybe we can find a small like clearing or out, like I don't know, on the edge of the city.
On the edge of the city. Wow, you guys want to go out of the city for
I'm
this?
scared. Like, Faela's been in some deep shit, and like she can't have any more infractions against her.
Michaela will. She's like,
We're doing it at her house.
I'll say Michaela's like, I'm not trying to go out into the walls. It's like, why don't we just do it in like you got? I would say like half of you guys probably stay in some sort of dorm at the college anyway.
Okay.
She's like, fine.
Right, yeah.
We'll do it in Rin's room.
Oh no.
And like, Rin's like stutters. She's like, why not your room? Why does it have to be mine? It's like, Michaela right away, like, I don't want to get my room dirty. Like, do you know how, like, it's like, she like reads it. It says that we have to burn half of this. Do you think I want that smell in my room? Like, just being selfish as fuck.
I know this is to progress as a player. I know this is to progress this story. But as
session one,
as my character, like I'm not gonna force Rin to do this, and I'm also like, Faela's really scared of getting in trouble again. Like she can be kicked out.
I mean, good. If you want to try to, I guess, convince Michaela to, I guess, do it in her room, good. Roll me a persuasion.
Okay.
Check.
So how do I do this in?
So open up your character sheet.
Yes.
And on the skills, like on the left-hand side, all you have to do is click on persuasion, and it should roll it.
Okay.
Boom. There you go. And yay, since we're doing session one, I'm not asking for super high DCs just yet. So yeah, you like, I guess we'll like push and probably be like, hey, we should do this. You know, you're the one who wants to do this. Let's do this in your room. And Michaela will finally relent and be like, fine. But if it gets, you know, messy, you're helping me clean up. If the spell goes wrong, or like since it involves burning things, she's like, y'all help me get make sure the room goes back the way it was when we're done.
Faela would just agree. She's like, whatever.
Alright, so you guys eventually she puts everything back into the bag, and goes. Y'all eventually like leave the library, make your way up to the dorms where she's staying. Make your way to her room, and it's once again, since she's a rich kid, it's kind of a bigger room. Not massive, but it's definitely bigger than what everyone else kind of has, what other first years have. As soon as you're all through the door, she closes the door, locks it, and she's like, "All right, let's get started." Since I'm assuming you're helping her get this, or you're having her just do it since she's the one that wants to.
I mean, I'll help.
All right, well then roll me an Arcana check.
Okay.
To see how well you do. Oh, goddamn. 22. See, someone can roll higher than a 10 in this group. I think you muted yourself there, Isaac. I don't know
I said, hey, I rolled a 22.
Once.
And a 17.
Anyway, so you it takes me about like 20-30 minutes like to get everything all set up. It's written as if it was like a ritual spell. So like after you're finally done setting everything up, you burning the incense, have like some of the components like in the pot, like almost together as in a stew essentially, just without water.
Just a viscous fluid.
Yeah, just grossness. You get all the material components together. Michaela starts reading out of the book and doing, the semantic components that go with it. And as she says the spell, and I would assume you're glancing over the book as well, as she's reading it, and you can see there's a few words here and there that you're not 100% sure she said it correctly, but she stumbles through the spell anyway, and makes it through the whole incantation. And as she finishes the last last sentence of the spell, the fog just bursts from the book,
Oh no!
Immense, fills up the room within seconds, and you find yourself in a deep sleep. You fade out of consciousness.
Wow! Instantly.
Instantly, it's because I would say you're looking over the book, you see both you.
Oh right, yeah.
And Michaela just both the last thing you see is
Rin
both
with us.
Yep, Rin's there too. So the last thing you see is all three of you falling backwards as the spell finished.
Okay.
You wake up sometime later. And everything looks fucked. You see a scene of just gore all around you.
Oh god.
You both Rin and Michaela are pinned against the walls by spears.
What?
Yep, they're just hanging off the
They-
walls.
Are they dead?
You don't know yet. Actually, you probably do. Because it's...
I mean, you said they're hanging by spears.
they're hanging by the spear. They're a good 6-7 inches off the ground, just hanging, pinned to the wall by the spear.
Through their flesh.
Through the center of their chest, spear in their walls. You glance down. Your hands are covered in blood. I need you to make either a wisdom check or an arcana check, your choice. Whatever one has a bigger bonus you can use.
I think Arcana's probably higher.
And it more than likely is, because you get your proficiency with that. So go ahead and roll another arcana. 12. As you're I'm assuming doing a mini freak out, what the fuck. You actually realize with another glance at one of the bodies, you can see the blood looked like it was splurts out from where they were stabbed, but the blood is just hanging in midair, as if it was frozen in air. You look out since she's in the room, you take a quick glance outside. You see what looks to be a bird flew by the window, but the bird is frozen midair as well.
So is time just frozen?
Seems that way. And as you're having a little, mini freak out, are you rushing to any of your friends, or?
Are we still in Michaela's room?
Yes, you were still in Michaela's room. It's just you woke up and your hands are covered in blood, and they are pinned up against the wall with spears.
Can I try to pull the spears out?
You certainly can try. That would be a strength check to see how well you can pull it out.
Okay. Well, this might not go well.
No, not the save. An actual like. Click on where it says strength on the character sheet.
On strength. Okay.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah, because they're for your save and your normal, they're both a -1, so I'll take the 18 anyway. Screw it. But that's how you roll the actual skill check or stat check.
Okay.
So I'll say you manage like as you're like pulling off the spear. I'll say, would you go for Michaela or Rin first?
I'll do Rin first.
Of course. As you're like pulling,
I
like
mean-
trying to pull the spear out of like the wall and her, like I'll say as you finally that sickening like as it like pulls out, and it's like her body like starts to slump to the ground. You hear like this clapping behind you.
I turn around.
And you see like what looks to be an old lady. I'll say she's wearing bright colors. Like, I hate to use the stereotype, but I guess like what you expect the stereotypical gypsy to look like. That's kind of what she looks like. It's like jewelry everywhere, like along her arms and hands. The bright colors, a hood with also like purple, reds, and blues. And she's just sitting on Michaela's bed, just when you clapping as you turn around, and she goes like, "You have more of a will than I would have expected you to have. Most people just freak out and run away."
I think Phalo is still technically really shocked. Like, she's not even sure why there's a person here. And why
everything.
She's just staring at this lady like, what happened?
It's like, well, it seemed that your friend tried to summon my master, and he doesn't like to be summoned. It's inconvenient to him. And like you see her like she picks up the book that Michaela was reading out of, and she like starts like rummaging through. She's like, so many fall into that trap. It's a wonder why they haven't gotten rid of this yet. And she just like slams the book shut. And then she'll like stand up and like, even though she looks ancient, like what, like probably like for a human, she's like definitely like in her like late 90s, early 100s. Like just by looking at her, she looks like she could. You would think she just wouldn't be able to move. Like that's how ancient she looks. But she like stands up and like walks to you with like this with a stride of someone like in their like early 20s. And she like walks up to you and like kind of like scratches under your chin, like does that like my pet type thing. Or at least tries to. I don't know if you try to stop her at all.
I'm still too shocked to really do anything.
She says, "You were the one that he chose this time. You should be thankful that you're not." And she like points up to the Michaela, I guess, still up on the wall. She goes, "That you're not like her."
But but you didn't need to kill them.
Oh, no. There's always... No one reads the full spell. There's always blood to be paid. And, like, she'll open the book back up and, like, show it right to you in clear letters that you don't know how either you or Michaela missed it. So,
I'm sure Michaela missed it, and I probably just didn't, or Fela just probably like didn't get a chance to see it before Michaela just rushed through it.
It's one of those like, it's clearly there where it's like I don't know how anyone could have missed it. Like common knowledge, like there is a blood debt to be paid for this spell. So if Michaela did miss it, that's on her. But it's like written in a way that it really should not have been missed, I guess.
It's gonna be something that Fela didn't actually get to see, and maybe something like Michaela just kind of hogged the book over.
Probably.
'Cause I just can't imagine Fela agreeing to that.
Right. And people watching, you can see the sub dropped out. He had to roll out.
Oh,
I'll get a picture up in its place for a second. But he kept his Zoom meeting up so it doesn't throw all my cameras out of whack, which is awesome of him. So until I get a new picture up, it's just gonna say subcycle. But yeah, she. Sorry, I'm like lost my train of thought. She like kind of like waltzes around the room in a sense, picking up like what's left of the components of like the pot that you guys had. And then she'll like glance back at you and goes, "So, this is a little awkward. Usually people know what they're getting into, to an extent. So I'm here to extend an invitation to you, of sorts. As I said, my master does not like to be summoned. He prefers to summon people to him. And as you and your friends have cast the summoning spell for him, he extends his invitation to you to come visit in Ravenloft."
oh shit. I think she just started like blurting out, but like blood and two of my friends dead, and we're still like on college campus.
And time is still frozen for everyone but you and this woman.
I'm still just kind of like hysterical at the moment.
She's like shh, 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 shh. It'll be okay. Depending on what you say. If you wish to accept his invitation, he can fix, and she like gestures the room, this. However, since your friends have so decided to waste his time, and frankly mine, I could just leave you here and let the council do what they want.
No. I start pleading. No.
Yes.
If there's a way to fix this, I'll fix it.
Emotions, yes. All of them. I feed on this. She goes, that's usually what they say. No one wants to be stuck trying to explain this. And she points to the blood on your hand. She's like, by all indications, you did this. So.
Oh no. Fela's just racked with guilt right now.
Imagine what the Conclave would say. Well, if you do wish to take my master up on his offer, she extends like the book out to you. She's like, you just need to place your hand on here, and we will be on our way.
As I guess, wait. Is Rin and Michaela's body still just like laying there?
I mean, Michaela's body's still pinned to the wall. You already had time to get Rin's out before this woman started clapping. So yeah, Rin's is kind of slumped on the floor against the wall. Technically, I guess unless you put it down, you're technically still holding the spear.
Yeah. Okay. I'm still holding Rin, I guess, hysterically crying. I hug Rin tightly to her dead body, and I promise her I'll fix this. And then I place my hand on the book.
All right. God, this is one of the times I really wish that you had a camera set up, because I love the role playing side of this the best.
Oh my god, I should probably try to get my camera back. This entire time I've just been making so many faces, like just hearing the other players.
Like the holy shit,
reminisce.
the holy shit faces. Like, oh my god, that's happening.
Yeah. I half the time I'm like covering my mouth, like I'm just like grinning and smiling. So much.
God, Dave, if you're still watch this, she would get along so well with Courtney. Oh my god. Cool. So you touch the book, and the old lady like mutters something under her breath, and that same fog like shoots from the book, and just like you see it like, I guess like Matrix style with like the little goop like slowly going up his hand, like slowly like enshrouds your body. Like it's really just a like a blanket of fog just around your body and slowly covers up your face.
Okay.
And then it's like the viewers that like anyone, if it was like a TV show, they see like this fog like rise up around you as if like someone was casting some spell around you. And then from your perspective, you see like that same fog window like rise down, and you are standing at that same four-way intersection that the others are. So you can see one person's like walking like looking kind of bewildered, like where the fuck am I?
Mm-hmm.
One looks and that's like an older human. You see, all three of you are human, aren't you? Holy shit. You see another human clad in armor with a look, like, holding a sword in his hand, like, with a look of, let's fucking get this over with. And then there's you, just standing in an intersection, crying. Just sobbing hysterically.
And the old lady's not there anymore.
The old lady is not there anymore. You see a fourth figure, who will remain anonymous for now because we don't have that fourth player.
Mm-hmm.
Because radio silence. And since we're just down to the two of you right now, that is where we're going to call it for our first session of the three of you, and possibly fourth, like, standing in the fog, like, kind of like all noticing each other at the same time, like, yo, what the fuck? And that's where, like, the title screen would fade to black.
Okay,
Yes.
I like that.
From the moment y'all gave me your character like background, especially like you and Dave, since you guys gave me yours like a month ago, I spent so much time. Right, like it was railroady as fuck because I was like, I need you all to get the Barovia, but it was like the images I had in my mind of how this is all going to play out. I've been so excited for this.
I'm just really sad 2 people had to die for me to get there. I did not expect that.
I mean, on the bright side, only 2 squirrels were harmed in the making of my backstory.
I mean, 2 squirrels and an entire squadron of your closest friends, and
I feel like
You know what? You know that's another story for a different time. Okay.
Really, Ramos's character came out with nothing bad happening to any of his family or friends. He's just like, shit, I got some fog to deal with. So you guys, that was
like, well, that's fog.
Yeah. So that was episode numero uno of Curse of Strahd. And even the title of this episode was Into the Fog.
I'm kind of sad that like we passed out immediately from casting the summon spell because I was expecting the fog and I was like, I'm totally gonna use detect magic.
Nope, you passed out. I had that written in there, like, as soon as the spell was cast, like, fog, unconscious. Like, I wanted you to wake up to a bloody scene of your friends just stabbed. I wrote a little
Is this like
more.
a common thing we should expect from this entire like adventure?
What, the fog or
No, just like gory, scary shit.
Yes, this is a horror themed module. And while in the module itself it's not as descriptive, I spent a lot of time taking what the book gives me and adding more to it to make it more, to give you a better like visual of what's going on and what is around you. I wrote actually more of what happened to your friends. Like, it wasn't just stabbed. I actually had it written in there, like, looked that they were gutted, so some of their intestines were kind of hanging out. But yeah, so it was just nasty all around. So, and I wasn't expecting Jazeel to try to use the command spell on someone.
That was hilarious. I didn't expect it to backfire like that.
I mean, I was just like, yeah, fuck it.
It backfired for a multitude of reasons, and really just 2 reasons. And I'm not going to tell you what those 2 reasons are. Because it's more fun this way. But yes, expect a lot of the macabre in this fucking module and in this story.
I kind of knew that when you said we were playing Curse of Strahd.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I also don't do well with horror, and I'm prone to nightmares.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay, because I signed up for this.
I'm glad that we play in the middle of the day then, so you have the rest of the day to, reflect and think about happy things.
Yeah.
Alright, so...
Like your friends being penned up by spears.
It
So,
was sad, because even though they were just NPCs, I was actually pretty invested in Ren.
alright, so... I'm gonna do these outros real quick. I'm gonna do a quick one for Dave. Obviously, he goes by Subcycle. He is the returning player of my games. He's been in one mainstay game that I did, which was Storm King's Thunder, and I highly suggest everyone check out what he does. He makes a I wish I had them next to me, and I don't feel like running to go find them right now. But he makes little like D&D tokens for when you play like on actual map, and they're just small little tokens with pictures of different creatures, NPCs, humanoids that can be used instead of the $30 miniatures that you can buy at game shops.
Nice.
It's called Tactical Tokens.
Do you have a link?
I'm about to do that in a second. I'm just making sure if I actually... Because I know his Facebook page, I'm just making sure Tactical Tokens actually takes you to his site, because I haven't gone to it for ages. There we go. Paste tacticaltokens.com. So check out his shit. It's really awesome. I have a lot of tokens. I went because he did a Kickstarter for it back in September-ish. And I have a shitload of them, and I use them for my Tuesday games when my friends come over and we play.
Thanks.
But that's all. He also does like some online DJing stuff. If you ever just search Subcycle, you'll find anything that he's a program director for. It's kind of awesome. Especially if you like J-pop, or if you like what is called electric swing, which is something I never knew existed until he told me about it. It's like...
Dude, electric swing is sweet.
I didn't know that was a thing until he showed me that he was running a channel for it, and I fell in love. So yeah, I know he does 2 channels based off of that. Like I said, just search Subcycle, you'll be able to find all that. Let's go over to the actual players that are here. Isaac, is there anything? Well, let me go through the questions that I like to ask. 1, who are you and where can people find you? And 2, what did you think of today's session? If you want people to find you, I should say.
I mean, I stream a little bit of Magic on the side occasionally, so like you could follow my channel if you wish for that, but like I haven't done it recently due to time constraints.
I don't.
And
you're leaning off camera right now. I can see literally your ear.
There we go. Sorry. And then
standard, modern, or legacy. I'm sorry.
So I actually could play every format. I've done it. But I prefer limited.
Okay. Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt.
Oh, you're good. No, yeah, I really like limited. That's my main format.
Yeah, D&D is my only vice. I refuse to get into any card games because I spent enough time and money on D&D in the last...
We have a saying in Magic, and drugs are cheap.
Look, drugs are probably cheaper than Magic, and D&D is probably also cheaper than Magic. I mean, I've been playing D&D for about 12 years now, and I want to say I spent about $400 on D&D shit.
Ha! Just made a single deck in Magic.
Which is nothing compared to Magic, because I have a friend that plays with me on Tuesday D&D, and he always complains that he's broke, but then goes and spends about $200 on Magic cards.
See, I went to Eternal Weekend with a friend in Pennsylvania last year, and he brought a backpack that was worth 20 grand with him.
I believe it. I've seen.
And I'm just like, if someone mugged this convention center, they would walk out with a cool mill.
Oh, minimum. Yeah, D&D is my vice.
I've heard like people stealing like people's shit at conventions, and
the thing though is it's like really hard to sell off the stuff.
Yeah, I've been going to conventions since 04, and yeah, it's very easy to I've never stolen anything from anyone, but you can definitely tell that it's probably easy to do it at a convention just because of the sheer amount of people there are there.
Yeah,
and the people that do steal from other nerds are horrible people.
Sucks. Yeah.
Oh, also there are my emotes in chat.
Nice.
They're amazing.
Are they penguins?
Solidly amazing.
They're penguins. That's awesome. All right. Let's hop. Oh, and then I say that's who you are. So, what did you think of your first session with me as your DM and with your character Jaziel?
I think it's going pretty good. There clearly needs to be more squirrel deaths, but
that could be arranged.
I mean, besides that, no, I want to say more squirrel deaths. Solidly that. We're good. We're good.
All right. I can accommodate you with squirrel deaths. You know, the next session is going to be called Squirrel Death.
Poor squirrels.
All right. Let's hop over to.
Someone's gonna cast a fireball, miss the attack. It's like roll a d6, 4. All right, 10 squirrels just died. You killed a family. I hope you're happy.
Right. You horrible human being. All right, let's hop over to Lily there. Same 2 questions. Who are you, and if you want, where can people find you? And,
Hi.
And what did you think of your first session?
Okay. My name's Lily, and I'm kind of really nowhere right now. I'm actually recovering from cancer, leukemia. Everything's in remission. I'm just
That's good.
physically kind of wrung out from chemo and everything.
I can understand.
Yeah, just recovering and doing a lot of like personal enrichment and getting into hobbies that I like again.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm super excited about doing D&D, and I love this session. It was fun, and I'm expecting like more.
And it's great now that I got the intros out of the way. The rest of the session will be all of you together, and we won't have to wait like 40 minutes for something to happen for you to be able to do something again.
Yeah, I only wish, because like I'm kind of bad at on-the-spot dialogue. That's something I want to work on.
I mean, with me, and especially with Dave, I don't know how well of role-playing you are there, Isaac, but me and him...
say a solid 7.
Me and... I'll say I put myself probably about an 8, honestly. We've gotten pretty good at bantering off of each other, and you as long as everyone's comfortable with each other, you'll get a lot better at the on-the-fly responses.
Okay.
It just comes with it. Like I said, I've been doing this for over a decade, so I've gotten better. I used to be horrible, like whole bad. Because when I started, I was 18, and the whole I'm going to be edgelord just to be an edgelord, and nope. Never again.
Yeah, I mean, I've also only played like 2-3 adventures in 2 different tabletop games. Like prior to this, it was 4th edition. It was just a custom adventure campaign that we were doing, and New Numenera. That was fun, but it was only like 1 adventure.
Meanwhile, I've started D&D with 3.5. Skipped 4th edition because none of my friends wanted to play it. And when 5th edition, and when we played 3.5, I was never the DM. I was just one of the players, and I was like, you know what? Whatever mod or version the DM wants to play, we'll play. And when 5th edition came around, it was finally when I was like, you know what? I'm stepping up. I'll be DM, because our DM that we had, though he was one of my closest friends, he was we loved playing games with him. there would be like 2 months in between. I'm like, I can't be having this. Like, I want to actually make this a hobby. I can get a session together within a week or two at most. So I took over DM duties. I was like, we're playing 5th edition because it's easier.
Yeah, 2 months in between is that's a long period to go between sessions.
Yeah, it was. I just couldn't handle that anymore. I'm like, if we're gonna play D&D, I want to play D&D. So, obviously, I feel like I've done my outro for myself doing like just talking with you guys. But yeah, I'm O'Day. I run Caution Nerds. You can find us here at Twitch every Monday and Thursday doing D&D. Thursdays have been kind of hit or miss lately, to be honest, because the party that I'm playing with, I'm not DMing that game, and even though I'm hosting it, I feel awkward running a game and not DMing it. Like, I feel like I'm getting better, and I try to take over DM duties. Like, no, it's supposed to be done like this, and I don't want to do that on stream and make the person that is DMing feel bad and me look like an ass. So they've been kind of hit or miss if I stream those. But you can also see me here every once in a while just playing a random PS4 game. Whenever I actually decide to start doing online matches with Mortal Kombat, you'll probably see me play that. But until then, no. But yeah, if you just search Caution Nerds, I do not have a Twitter. I am on Facebook under Caution May Contain Nerds. And I post up a bunch of stupid nerdy memes all the time there, as well as days that I'm going live. And I think that is everything. I hope you guys that are watching enjoyed this. We will be back next week, hopefully with a full party for the whole session. And that's all she wrote.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.